Good morning. Good morning. Good morning and happy Pride. We are here on the first day of a month-long celebration, of a month-long of reflection, of a month-long of learning more about each other and those we love, of celebrating our relationships despite and because of everything. We give thanks for this faith community, for being so gay positive. We begin in thanks as we say together, welcome to All Souls, where all souls are welcome. You are so joyfully on this first day of June, rabbit, called to worship. I invite you to rise in body and or in spirit. We'll join our voices in singing, Answering the Call of Love. So beautiful. Yes. We begin, of course, every Sunday by looking to each other and offering a deeply held greeting of peace. If you are here for the first time here in Unity Hall, I invite you to raise your hand so that we may know to welcome you most especially. Let us remember to make room for the stranger always. Those of you in the online pews, we see you, we wave to you, we welcome you. We're so glad you're here. And if you are in the online pews for the first time, let us know in the chat and we will welcome you there. Welcome all, peace be with you. Let us make a joyful noise. Thank you, Hazel.
We acknowledge the Nahantic, Mohegan, Mashantucket Pequot, and Eastern Pequot people as the traditional caretakers of the land on which we worship. We honor and pay respect to these tribes, their ancestors, and their lineage, who today uphold traditional practices, art, and education.
Thank you, Jules.
We're going to invite Charlie Clancy up to light the chalice. Charlie, you will see his thespian skills in a few moments. Please say with me these words. We light this chalice as a reminder of the divine spark that dwells in each of us, connects each being to all others, and burns bright as a reminder that joy is an act of resistance.
Indeed, indeed. And I would like to introduce to you some guests that we have who will be participating in this Pride service. Chevelle Moss Savage serves as the Vice President of OutCT, and Chris Wright serves as the President. And each of them are going to be participating in different ways this morning. And we will begin with Chevelle, who will offer a reflection. Come on up, Chevelle.
Good morning, y'all. How you doing? Happy Pride! Right? Woo! So, I want to share some history of how Pride Month even began, right? Because we can't celebrate where we're going unless we acknowledge and recognize where we have been. So, the roots of Pride trace back to the Stonewall Uprising occurring in June of 1969. That was a good year. Know why? That was the year I was born. There you go. In New York City, when LGBTQ plus patrons of Stonewall Inn, a gay bar in Greenwich Village, resisted a police raid. These raids were common and that time targeted at LGBTQ spaces under the pretense of enforcing morality. But that night, people fought back, led by figures like Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera, right, our black and brown trans and non-binary siblings, and many unnamed others, including black and brown trans folks who are not named, sparking several days of demonstration. The following year, on June 28, 1970, the first Christopher Street Liberation Day March was held to commemorate the uprising. This was the first Pride March, and it was a political act of defiance and solidarity, not a corporate-sponsored celebration. Amen. I'm just gonna let that, you'll get it on the way home. The goal was visibility, liberation, and resistance against the violence and discrimination LGBTQ plus folks had to navigate. The fight continued to be recognized federally, did not come into fruition until 29 years later. I'll walk you through the timeline. Now think about that, 29 years it took. So President Bill Clinton officially declared June as Gay and Lesbian Pride Month in his presidential proclamation in 1999. But as you can see, there were some identities missing. In 2009, 10 years later, President Barack Obama expanded the recognition to include lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender Pride Month. And then in 2016, President Obama designated the Stonewall Inn and surrounding areas as a national monument. Fast forward to 2021, before President Joe Biden left office. He declared June as LGBTQ plus Pride Month. As you can see, the fight to be seen, valued, and heard was not an easy task. However, the Pride movement has allowed folks to live openly, love freely, and demand justice. But I also would be remiss if I did not name that some folks are not able to live openly or freely, and that's okay as well, right? Now, that was the protest part, which is something I personally would never not be a part of. If you know me, you know I'm all about protesting. But with protest, we must also engage in self-care, which is a vital component of resistance. As one of my sheroes, Audre Lorde, shares, caring for myself is not self-indulgence. It is a self-preservation, and that is an act of political warfare. Part of self-care is engaging in things that bring you joy, like now, being in community with each other, right? Community is where we learn that we are not alone and that there is nothing wrong with who we are. Community reminds us that Pride isn't just a month. It's a daily act of visibility, authenticity, and love. It's found in chosen families and allies/accomplices who speak up in every space where we affirm one another's worth. So although the fight for equity continues for us, let us take a moment to rest in the resistance of joy and celebrate each intersecting identity that makes us beautiful, bold, loving humans we were meant to be. Let us engage in pride. Happy Pride, y'all.
Thank you, Chevelle. Thank you. The story for all ages this morning is called The Sissy Duckling, and it is written by Harvey Fierstein. Some of you may know him as the playwright. He also was in and I think wrote the screenplay for Mrs. Doubtfire. He's a big personality, and he wrote this big personalitied story for all ages. So Charlie, come on over this way, and Perry and Chevelle. You know what? Perry just reminded me that we didn't light the candle of peace. So come on up, Kyle. See? Yeah.
We light this candle of peace for all the places in the world, including our own country, where the very existence of LGBTQIA folks is threatened by oppressive governments. With this light, we kindle our hope for freedom, equity, and security for all.
Thank you, Kyle. And in that spirit, we enter into the story for all ages.
Elmer was the happiest duckling in the forest. He loved to build things and paint pictures. He also enjoyed helping around the house and was especially fond of decorating cookies. He was one happy duckling. Unfortunately, there wasn't a single other little boy duckling who liked to do any of the stuff that Elmer did. Not one. They boxed while Elmer baked. They built forts, and Elmer built sandcastles. They played football, and Elmer put on a puppet show. Sometimes Elmer played with the girls, but most of the time he played alone. His papa was not happy.
You'll never get along in the world if you don't learn to play with others. It's time for you to learn baseball.
How about I put on a halftime show instead? What's the point? I can't catch and I can't throw.
You don't have to catch or throw. Just hit the ball.
This is going to be a disaster.
First pitch streaks past his beak. The second pitch streaks by as the umpire shouts, "Strike 2." Another pitch streaks by, "Strike 3. You're out."
Really? I'm done? Thanks for a swell time, fellas.
Later that evening, Elmer overheard his papa and mama talking.
Sissy. They called him a sissy. Now I'm the laughing stock of the whole flock.
Elmer didn't know what a sissy was, but he knew it couldn't be good. When Mama came to tuck Elmer into bed, it took all of his courage to ask her.
What's a sissy?
Sissy is a cruel way of saying that you don't do the things the way others think you should.
How do they want me to do things?
Just like they do. But you are special, Elmer. And being special sometimes scares those who are not.
I don't want to be
But
special.
you are. And only one day you will amaze us all.
The next day at school, Drake, the class bully, greeted Elmer saying, "No sissies allowed in my school." Elmer went beak to beak with Drake and said that he was jealous that one day Elmer would amaze them all. The fight got so loud, the teacher came out to break it up. Drake was angry all day, and Elmer knew it, so he waited until everyone had started home before he left himself. But Drake had hidden behind a tree and chased Elmer through the woods. Elmer managed to get away, but was very scared. He ran into his room, locked the door, and hid under the bed. Mama and Papa heard what happened to him at school.
He ran away instead of fighting.
He was being chased.
In a few weeks, we will all fly south for the winter. It'll be every duck for himself. Only the strong will survive.
If you'd stop thinking like a sneaker commercial, you'd see that Elmer is just as strong as every other duckling.
Elmer is a sissy.
Elmer is your son.
He's no son of mine.
Elmer heard his father's words, and his heart crumbled to pieces. What do you do when your own papa calls you names? Elmer didn't want to make his mama or papa unhappy anymore. He filled a pillowcase with his paints and tools and a picture of his parents. He carried his bundle into the night. He went to the pond and swam away from home. He found an old hollow tree hidden deep in the forest. He used his talent to make his new home.
My house has everything I could ever want. Everything except my mama and papa.
The season changed. Elmer knew that soon he'd be the only duck left in the forest. He paddled across the great pond just in time to see his flock leaving for the journey.
We can't go without Elmer.
We can't stay here.
If only I knew he was all right.
I'm all right, Mama.
The flock took to the sky, and Elmer waved goodbye. Just then, shots rang out. Hunters leaped from behind the trees, their guns blasting. The ducks screeched in fright, flying as fast as they could. Elmer was relieved when he saw most of the flock disappear into the clouds. He knew he had to escape quickly, but he heard the sound of a quiet moan. He followed the sound, parted the grasses, and there he found his papa.
Fly away, Elmer. You don't see any of the other ducks coming back to rescue me. For once in your life, act like a normal duck. Forget me and save yourself. That's what every other duck would do.
With all of his strength, Elmer lifted his papa and carried him to the safety of the pond. It may not have been what any other duck would do, but Elmer knew in his heart that this was the right thing for him to do. Papa woke up to Elmer bringing him fresh mushroom soup. Papa looked confused around the beautiful home and wondered,
Where am I?
You're with me at my home.
You did all of this by yourself? But wait! You must leave me here and fly south. No duck has ever survived a winter. Save yourself, son.
You've been sleeping for a long time. We're deep into the winter. The snows have fallen. It's too late to leave. Don't worry, Papa. We're going to have fun.
And he was right. All winter long, they played games and told jokes and made things and laughed and talked and got to know each other. It was on a cloudless morning that the sky exploded with the sounds of honking and flapping. Spring had come and the ducks were returning home. They gathered in the field to give thanks for the safe journey. As the newly elected leader of the flock, Drake Duckling asked for a moment of silence to remember all their fellow ducks who had not made it through the winter, including those who had been shot by the hunters in the fall.
And Elmer, don't forget, we lost my Elmer too.
Who could forget Elmer, that little sissy?
If Elmer is a sissy, then I'm a sissy too.
Who said that?
To everyone's shock, Papa stepped forward. It was impossible. No duck had ever survived a winter in the forest, not one. Papa explained how Elmer had found him and taken care of him all through the winter. He brought the flock to Elmer's house where he had been making a lovely pot of dandelion soup.
Are you too grown up to give your mama a hug? I always knew you were special, and now everyone else knows too. I'm so proud of you.
The entire flock cheered. Woo!
I want to make one thing perfectly clear. I am the same duck I have always been. I have not changed. I am a big sissy and proud of it.
Elmer hadn't changed at all. It was true, but the other ducks in the flock had changed. Over the years, Elmer learned that he was not so very different after all. Out in the world, he met lots of other ducks just like himself. No, Elmer was not so different, but he always did remain special.
The anthem today is composed by Fred Small. Fred has had many lives. He was for a long time a professional folk singer, and it was in this part of his life that he composed this song that he thinks is the pinnacle of that part of his life and that career. He is now a Unitarian Universalist minister. He has served our congregations in Littleton, Massachusetts, and Cambridge, and he's also an environmental lawyer. So he is working on that issue right now, but we're so grateful that the choir can share this beautiful piece with us this morning. Come on up, choir. So beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Creating and sustaining beloved community is a ritual we enter into every Sunday, and this Sunday it will be a glitter blessing. We have done this several times before. It always is a reminder of the blessing that we offer to each other simply by being present to each other, and especially on this day, the first day of Pride. The children are going to be the first to participate in this. I'd like to invite the 4 people, and teachers, of course. I'd like to invite the 4 souls who have agreed to offer this blessing forward. Those of you in the online pews, if you would like to be blessed, simply put in the chat blessing, and I will bless you from here. That's when we love technology. I then would like to invite the children and teachers first. You're going to come around the outside of the sanctuary, and then everyone, this is a direction for everybody, you'll just go to the first person offering the blessing who is open. So just to keep this moving, just walk to your left. The music underneath the blessing, I think many of you will recognize as the song, "This Is Me," from The Greatest Showman. Thank you, Bill, for learning that for the occasion. And so we open this time of blessing to all who are here. Again, teachers and kids first. Come on up, and then you're going to go right down the hall to your classrooms from the blessing. Okay? All right. Let the blessing then begin. Mike, I need to thanks. For those of you who are in your seats and would like for someone to come to you, please raise your hand so we can do that. Carol, I see you. There we go. Good, good, good. Bill, would you like a blessing? Yeah? Yeah, of course. Go on over. Go ahead, Michelle. It smells so pretty, doesn't it? And I forgot to say that the oil is from Jerusalem and the glitter is biodegradable and safe for human skin. So there's all of that. Thank you, those of you in the online pews, for participating. We feel your presence always. Thank you all for the blessing of this day and for participating in that blessing. It's so beautiful to stand up here and watch that happen. So thank you all so much. Thank you. We continue, and I would like to invite Chris Wright forward, dear friend and wonderful community leader. Come on up, Chris.
Good morning, all. And of course, happy Pride. My name is Chris Wright. I go by she or they, and I'm the current president of OutCT, a local LGBTQIA Two-Spirit advocacy organization. For those of you who don't know, we've got more info at the table in the back. I'm super grateful to have the opportunity to say a few words. I'm going to focus my comments today on our beloved Carolyn and what All Souls means to me and OutCT. I am fortunate to say that I never spent too much time in the closet, but when I first moved to New London around 2005, there was a period of time where my wife and I couldn't be out about our love. And though my queerness has always been pretty on display, this was a particularly painful and isolating moment. Around that same period of time, I went to a service at another New London congregation. It was to honor the life and work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And that year, this was many years ago now, there was a minister from Groton who had the honor of addressing attendees. And I'll never forget the shock I felt when she veered away from King and his greatness to take time to underscore the sin of homosexuality. My face burned with anger, but also embarrassment. It sort of felt as though a light was beaming down, pointing out to all others present that day that a sinner was in their midst. But then I came to All Souls. Regretfully, not as often as I wish I had. All Souls is a spiritual and community home for all souls. For yours, and even mine. All Souls and Carolyn Paterno are inextricably linked in my mind. Unfortunately, I can't tell where one begins and the other ends. And while I know All Souls will continue to be a haven for the queer community even after Carolyn retires. There is no mistaking the ways in which Carolyn's leadership has called upon this congregation and the broader New London community to explicitly stand with queer and trans lives.
Amen. That's right. That's right.
As a member of the community herself, Carolyn normalizes queer leadership and helps us to see ourselves in positions of power that we may not have imagined before. Over the last few years, I'm not even sure how many, but All Souls has been home to so many of OutCT's annual events and vigils. From pride services like today's, to our raucous drag bingo nights, which there will be more of, to April's Trans Day of Visibility, lifting up the fact that trans people have always existed and will always exist. And painfully to November's Trans Day of Remembrance, where we recognize the trans and non-binary people's lives who were taken far, far, far too early due to hate. But Carolyn and the All Souls haven't just fought for LGBTQ rights, but have been a voice for Black lives, immigrant and refugee rights, a voice against violence against women, and for reproductive freedom. For the preservation of democracy and a free Palestine. And just in the last 6 months of conversation with Carolyn, she told me, for justice, I am willing to die. From the chancel to city council chambers, Carolyn walks in the tradition of so many freedom fighters who have come before and are to come. For the fight for justice is so, so far from over. And in the words of Jewish poet Emma Lazarus, none of us are free until all of us are free. Carolyn, you are a gift to us. Whatever will we do without you? You give me hope. And perhaps now is our turn to step up.
Come on, Chris. That's right.
Lead and offer Carolyn the same hope she's offered us.
Amen. That's it. That's it. Do it.
So Carolyn, I promise you that I will do my best to continue walking the path you have so beautifully led us down. Will you join me? Yes. Will you join me? To Carolyn, to All Souls, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. I think we're all going to be so tired of me in about 3 weeks. That's my guess. That's my guess. All right. We shift to our offering. For all that you share and sacrifice, we are so grateful. Let us say these words together. We give to the work of all souls. Our work weaves the fabric of love called community. To this end, we dedicate ourselves and this our offering. The offering will be gratefully received.
For all that you've given and all that you've shared. Thank you.
Close out this service by joining our voices in singing a hymn that we've not sung before as far as I know. Jack assures me that it's easy to follow. The choir has been rehearsing it, so just follow them. Please rise in body and or spirit. We will sing hymn number 325, Love Makes a Bridge. Kyle will extinguish the chalice while we speak these words together. Our worship has ended, but our service is not yet done. May our spirits be renewed and our purpose resolved as we meet the challenges of the week. The chalice flame is extinguished until once again ignited by the strength of our communion. Those of you in the online pews, I invite you to hold your hearts while you're reaching beyond your screens. And those of you here in Unity Hall, let us reach up and out to be reminded of the divine beauty within every soul whose paths we cross. Let us celebrate. Let us protest. Let us go forth into this Pride Month with full hearts, with hope and joy. Go in peace. And then stay for the annual meeting and return again with great joy. Amen. I invite you to be seated. I invite you to be seated. All right. announcements. As I said, the annual meeting is starting in just a couple of minutes. Are we giving people time to get a cup of coffee, or are we starting right away? Yes, okay, yes. I don't know, and I don't want to get in trouble. Okay, so there's time to get a cup of coffee. There's time to stop at OutCT is tabling today. If you want to learn more about them, then please, Robin is right. You can't miss, right there. Yes, if you did not receive an annual report, there are still some available to pick up. It's also available to view online. The weekly news had a link, so you can do that. Next Friday is the Good Goodbye Musicale. It's really going to be fun. It's free of charge, but call the office to reserve a space. Next Sunday is Faith Formation Sunday. It's always so much fun. Perry is the worship leader. I will be there as well. As a note, yeah, whatever. You know all of that. Okay. What?
You better have a snappy jacket.
Yes, Perry better have a snazzy jacket. Yes, I'm sure that he will. I'm sure he will. I think that is everything. Thank you to those of you in the online pews. Stay. We're live streaming the annual meeting, so if you'd like to be part of that, then don't log off. I think that's everything. Thank you, everybody. See you next week. Happy Pride.
Cheers. Please grab a seat. Please grab a seat. We'll start in another minute. I am calling to order the annual meeting of the All Souls Unitarian Universalist Congregation of New London. As we approach our agenda, let us remember that we're doing the work of All Souls. When we do the work of this congregation, we touch lives. When we touch lives, we change the world. May all we do here be guided by our mission, our ministry, and love. This morning, Danny Spur will be our parliamentarian. Danny's an at-large member of the board, and our meeting will be conducted under the democratic rules of order. For our first agenda item, I ask Paul Carolyn, Vice President of our board, to lead the recognition of our volunteers, without whom there would be no All Souls congregation. Paul.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. So volunteers are critical to the operation and mission of All Souls. Volunteerism at All Souls was an important topic of discussion at our first council meeting since before COVID in September of 2023, when Reverend Carolyn beautifully captured the idea that we volunteer because it feeds our souls. Here is a list of volunteer groups, teams, and committees over this past year. Now, whenever such a list is shared, we run the risk of leaving someone or some group out. So I'll apologize ahead of time if this happens. As I read this list, I'd like you to reflect on the immense dedication that volunteering at All Souls contributes to the success of who we are as a congregation. If you hear the name of one of these volunteer teams and you think, that sounds interesting, I'd like to find out more about that, then ask someone about it. Here's the list, and hold your applause until the end. Here's a list of volunteer committees: the Board of Trustees, Facilities Committee, Finance Committee, Membership Committee, Nominations and Leadership Development Committee, Stewardship Committee. The following are volunteer teams: J Street Ministries, Building, Outreach, Pastoral Care, Hospitality, Communications, Denominational Affairs, Good Works, which includes Grounds and Peace Garden, Growth Through Service, Greeters, Policies, Safety, Sharing Circles, Technology, Worship Advisory, Endowment, and our amazing choir. And finally, numerous All Souls events that could not run without volunteers. I'm only going to name a few. There's probably many, many others, but including, to name a few, the annual tag sale, all the people that went to help out with that. Parking volunteers for Sail Fest, the Italian Sisters Dinner. Thanks to all of you who currently serve as All Souls volunteer. If you volunteered as part of any of these groups or in quiet ways that were not mentioned, at this time, please stand up so you can acknowledge each other, which is probably the whole group here. Give yourselves a big hand, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of our last annual meeting. I'll entertain a motion to approve that. Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you. Maria? All those in favor? Hold up those cards. There we go. All right. The motion is passed. Thank you. Next, we have the approval of our 2026 budget, and I see Janet walking. You are next.
Okay, so first thing I'd like you to do is to turn to page 14, because I have a couple of little corrections that have to be made. I don't have it on the screen. So under the line that says starts capital campaign, you will see 24-25 budget. Please change that to 25-26. And then go to page 16. In the heading says budget fiscal year 24-25. Please change that also to 25-26. Okay. So as I was thinking about what I was going to say to you guys today, I thought about everything that this congregation has accomplished. Now, I haven't been here that long. We became members in 2019, December of 2019. Since that time, though, we weathered a pandemic. We created an online service, which has widened our reach. We've installed solar panels. We survived a minister's sabbatical, the loss of our associate minister, now twice, refreshed the interior spaces, created a new community room, replaced our HVAC units, 3 of them on our roof here, converted to new donation and accounting software, installed security cameras, and are now embarking on the exterior work of the capital campaigns phase 2. I might have forgotten something.
But that is not all we have done. We have supported our House of Hope at 25 J Street. We have helped to feed those in need at the meal center and the food pantry. We have provided funds for charities in need through the Minister's Discretionary Fund and our monthly Good Neighbor offerings. And so I say, you know, we've all been kind of worried about what the future is going to bring. I say, bring it on. I think we got this. Okay, so now we can get to the budget. And that starts on page 16. Now for revenue, line number 4025 is in the second column is the 25-26 pledge campaign. We received pledges of $451,586. That is a 2.8% increase from last year, and I would personally like to thank the stewardship team, Mike Ritz, Glenn Grabner, Susan Bourget, and Mary Drake for the amazing job they did. Thank you. Okay, then line number 4016, which is in honor and memory of. This income from, you'll notice it is zero. From now on, it's going to be used to increase our endowment instead of going to the operating account. This will help to ensure our future financial health. And right now, our endowment has about $152,000. Okay, now down to expenses. Wherever you see interim minister, that line item will be used for the contract minister. 7,200 staff salaries and wages. Most staff salaries have increased by 3%. Child care has increased $1.50 from $16.50 to $18 an hour. Office administration increased $1.45, and Director of Faith Formation increased by $4,840. Our goal of reaching the UUA salary guidelines has moved due to the size of our congregation and the cost of living, but we continue to be committed to providing equitable salaries. Also, what helped to make all of this possible is there is no salary for an associate minister at this time. So line 7250, staff professional expenses has increased, and this is based on the UUA suggested amounts for what was to be the interim. And this may change as we search for a contract minister. Line 8200, building and grounds has increased $4,000. This will help the facilities team better care for our building, Unity Hall and everything going on here. 8250, heating and cooling, the HVAC loan. This is new. This is for the interest on the 5-year 2.99% loan of $65,900 that we took out to pay the last portion of the cost of installing the 3 HVAC units. Line 8530, committees. That has increased $10,000 to cover the costs associated with hiring and moving costs for the contract minister. 8591, UUA program fund contribution. This has increased $3,300 from the $12,000 we have been doing per year to $15,300. But I will tell you the ask is $28,250. But we're moving towards it. Under total expenses, you will see a new line for the principal payments on the HVAC 5-year loan. Although that is not an expense item, it is a liability that we do have to pay every month. And it will decrease our cash on hand, so we are budgeting to cover that cash. Now, before I ask you to approve this budget, I would like to thank you all for the support and encouragement in the last 4 years I have been your treasurer. I leave you in very good hands as I move on to new adventures. I will tell you that both the Finance Committee and the Board of Trustees have given their support to this proposed budget, and I am asking the congregation to approve the proposed budget as presented.
Thank you, Janet.
We're not done yet.
You took the words right out of my mouth. She has done an amazing job for 4 years. She's ending the end of this month. And, I mean, our accolades are so well-deserved. She just has done an amazing job. Those of us on the board really appreciate what she has done. I will entertain a motion that we approve the budget for 25-26. George, thank you. Second.
Okay, now we open to questions.
Are there any questions?
Anyway.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
So
we can hear what the question is.
she questioned that the choir salary went down. And I have been asked this question. The 13,000 was for Catherine, but Jack was hired at 12. So that an increase of 500.
Kyle? Go ahead, we'll repeat it.
I'll repeat it.
The question I have is, I understand that the previous budget was for Catherine. However, I'm a bit disappointed, more than a bit disappointed, that our choir director's salary is going down. I just wanted to express that.
It's going up for the start.
Thank you.
You need to repeat it, Janet.
So Kyle expressed his disappointment that the choir director's salary decreased. Is that?
But it is going up since
Yeah.
since she first came, so it's an increase for her.
Since they were hired, this is an increase.
Yes, Cynthia.
Is the UUA program fund, is that as similar as the fair share concept?
Yes, so the UUA program fund, is that similar of the fair share concept? And the answer to that is yes.
George.
I have a statement, not a question. I just want to say that when you talk about building back the endowment, we chose to spend that money on this building. We promised to put it back in. That was a motion at an annual meeting. I am so happy to see you working toward that goal. It doesn't have to come back. I don't like huge endowments. They're the worst thing that can happen. But we need one of the substantial size. And the other thing was, what was it? Anyway, so I support this budget and glad you're working toward that and the ministers where they should be in there. So thank you. Repeat.
Sue.
That's an awful lot to repeat. So basically, he said he supports this budget. He is glad that we are focusing on the endowment and the ministers, what?
Salary is.
Then salaries.
You got it, so we'll repeat it.
I'm really glad to see that we're trying to increase the wages of the people who work for us that are not at the very top of the pyramid. But I am concerned that we are still underpaying, for instance, our church administrator by over $2 an hour. But when you're in that level of
Yep.
in a salary level where we have her, or excuse me, an hourly wage level, $2 an hour means a lot. So I think we need to put more effort there. What caught my attention was, it says on page 15, the interim minister is budgeted for a base salary of $103,500. But in the budget, you have put in here under the senior interim minister's salary of $112,764. Can you tell me the difference, or how that?
Yes, so ministers have a base salary, which is their base pay and housing. Above that, there are items that are paid to ministers, and this is historical and UUA supported, so there are other items in it. It is the same as Carolyn's salary was. So Carolyn had a base salary, and there were items that are added to that.
So this year, Carolyn's was 108, and then it would have gone up to 112, is what you're saying?
Approximately, yes.
But her package was 108,000, and now it's 112. Okay, thank you.
Did you get that?
Let us call the question.
You're still looking for the, who second? We're looking for who seconded.
I got correction. The second was
David. Yeah.
Sorry.
Any other questions? Okay.
And let us move.
It's all yours.
All right, you took my last sheet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that you?
That's it.
That's it.
We can continue now. All right. All those in favor of approving next fiscal year's budget? Budget is passed. Thank you very much. Next is from our Nominating and Leadership Development. Lisa.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so if you turn to page 3, that top line should read 2025 to 2026 leadership slate. I'm going to read the names of the people on the slate, and then you'll vote on them. Just a couple of corrections. Under nominating and leadership development, as much as we would love for Lexi Capon to continue, she's completed her 3-year term, so we've been crossing her name off. And other commitments have caused Michelle Ewers to recently decide to focus on her new ministry of pastoral care. We'll be adding Cynthia Marion to that committee. So it's Cynthia Marion, so I'll read them from the top down. So president next year will be Charlie Schott again. Vice president Eileen Ego. Treasurer John Betcher. Secretary Melanie Elliott. The at-large members are Rebecca Grabner, John Pappas, Kate Richards, Linda Sargent, and Danny Spur. So thank you all. The nominating and leadership development. First, I'd like to thank this year's team of Lexi Capon, my co-chair, Mary Drake, Michelle Ewers, Sally McGee, and Axel Westerberg. And then going ahead next year, I'll continue to be chair. We'll have Cynthia Marion, Abby Hausnick, Sally McGee, and Axel Westerberg. The board committee chairs, we continue on with Steve Batt. Thank you, Steve. Janet Beebe will be head of finance. Peggy Flood is going to be our new head of membership, and Mike Britz will continue as head of stewardship.
Thank you, Lisa. I will entertain a motion to approve the slate. Liz?
Thank you.
Okay. All those in favor? Thank you. The slate is approved. Nice job. Next, some comments about J Street Ministry. I'm asking again that Paul come up and we'll talk about J Street, the organization, and the board that's now formed.
Thank you, Charlie. On April 26, 2016, the property on 25 J Street was purchased by All Souls as a house of hope to be a temporary home to families or individuals to offer shelter, hope, and hospitality to people in need. Since then, it's provided housing for single families, individuals, and at present, there's a family in each of the 2 apartments. These past few months, it's been busy with moving from where we were to where we're going to be in the next year. We set up an operations agreement that was written and approved by the All Souls Board of Trustees and J Street Ministries, which officially established J Street Ministries as a limited liability corporation, or LLC. So under the umbrella of All Souls, but acting as its own entity. Our All Souls Board also appointed an interim JSM board to serve through the end of June, end of this month, and has appointed a new J Street Ministries board of 5 members to start serving July 1st for the 25-26 year. As you didn't hear my name listed as being on the Board of Trustees, I've agreed to continue serving on the JSM board, and our additional board members will be John Betcher, Diane Maxson, Michael Pick, and Glenn Gramer. If you 4 can stand up, we'd like to give you a round of applause. We've recently been very busy with the building upkeep as we worked with Eversource to improve the energy efficiency of the building. Supported by a significant credit from Eversource and a $2,500 gift from Friday Night Folk, we've installed a new HVAC heating and cooling system, which became operational 2 days ago. It took them, Paul, how long? 2.5 weeks to get it done, but they got it done. We also had to recently replace hot water heater. A shout out to Steve Batt and our facilities committee for all of your great support. Well, without embarrassing him, I'd like to acknowledge one individual who's our new 25 J Street facilities manager, although he doesn't like to be called that. He spent numerous hours over the past 2 weeks with oversight of the HVAC installation, while at the same time replacing smoke detectors, removing 3 large AC units, and various other tasks at our House of Hope. Paul Knighting, would you stand up for a minute? We'll give you applause. Thank you for all of your support. We're very excited about the year ahead for J Street Ministries.
Next, just a brief update for you on General Assembly. Danny was a delegate last year, and I've asked him to come up and give a brief overview of the role and the experience and the opportunities available as a delegate for General Assembly. Danny.
Hello, everyone. So I was a delegate at General Assembly last year, and so Charlie asked me to speak. What he may not have known was that I'm a poor salesman, and I only went as a voting delegate, so I didn't attend any seminars, events, though I wanted to. But at the same time, I went to a bunch of long meetings to discuss business, much like here, but online. I could do it in my car. I could do it with my kids screaming in the background. And as long and boring as some of those things could be, reflecting back on it was a moving, transformative experience, just attending online a General Assembly process and seeing how they handle democracy, handle the messy situations with such grace. One example is they have all these inclusivity measures built into the system, and one of the things they would do is is put in place for the visually impaired is people would self-describe themselves to everyone before they would speak, and it was this beautiful ritual, just to see how people would describe themselves and their background, and it was, it was designed for inclusivity for the visually impaired, but it was really for everyone, And I would just say that going to GA, even virtually, is a great opportunity that I wish I could have participated in more. It's a crazy time of year for me to do that, but it's so important for our congregation to be represented in the larger UUA, and also an opportunity for our congregation to learn and bring back just the collective knowledge of our religious community. So if you're on a committee, if you're on the board, if you're a teacher, a greeter, you can bring back the GA with you for all of us to share your learning, and it will make our congregation stronger and the UUA stronger. And I think especially in these times, it's important to make sure that these institutions remain strong. Our congregation and also the larger UUA. So if anyone would like to accept this opportunity, this great opportunity, and has time, you don't even need that much time. You can go to a couple things. You can do it in your car on the way to work. It would be great if you could step forward and be a GA delegate this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny. If you are interested, talk to Danny afterwards. I've been to countless GAs over the years. The content and depth of the workshops on the different topics, if you do anything in congregational life, there's a workshop and some shared best practices that are available at GA. So worth considering. And next, while this is a moving target, we're going to get the latest update on our Phase 2 building project. Katrina.
So I prepared some slides for you. Hello, my name is Katrina Burkaw, and I've had the privilege of being on the committee, the building team, since 2019, I think, there, and we really got going again in 2022. But there have been a few stumbling blocks. So right now, what we're calling it, finding a way out of no way, so that we can begin Phase 2, which has been delayed a number of times. The first time to build the community room, which Carolyn said, don't do that, I need a community room, and we did it there. So where are we? Next. So we had a beautiful plan. You'll see more of that, but we can't do it all right now. Our phase one of phase two is a partial plan. We'd already reduced the scope of the work, but the 3 bids came in on March 14th. We were so excitedly waiting for them, you know that feeling. And they ranged from $562,000 to $680,000, and we had $241,000. Thank you for what, it's wonderful to have that much, and we appreciate it. So we met with Suhaki, the low bidder, and we met right there in the community room to sit down and look at plans and say, what can we do? What can we do with the money we have? Next. Here's the plan that was designed in 2023. The committee met, we liked it. We worked with Kent Frost from with Brian Kent from Kent and Frost there. Trees, hedges, sidewalks, and it'll all get done eventually, but right now, we can't do it all, so I take heart from Neil Overstrom. Thank you for being here, Neil. Comment, whatever you can do will be transformational. And if you look at that picture of our entrance, you can see that it could be better. It could be. We did get the building painted. That was another thing, and that was a big improvement too. But so here's where we're at today. And next. So the Let's Get Started plan includes, I'll tell you what it does include, and then what we have to do ourselves: asphalt removal, and sidewalks, drainage, ADA compliance, and the beds prep in the entrance and courtyard portions. So about 2/3, you can see the original plan was in 3 outdoor rooms, and so we're doing 2 of the 3. And it doesn't include the shrubbery or trees or mulch, So it's the infrastructure. We're paying for the infrastructure, and that's taken most of the money we have. Next. But we'll have work parties. They'll be fun. There'll be snacks. $7,000. The person at Kent and Frost we're working with now used to work in landscaping, and he's offered to help us. And $7,000 to get the different mulch and stuff, and then we can start adding more and more green. So that's the first. That's the first step. The next step is that they'll come in. They'll come in this summer. Pretty soon. We just signed the contract last week, and do the infrastructure, and then we will start beginning. We're also talking with New London Trees, and Carol Bunting who's over here, has been working with them, contacted them. They have a goal, a grant from DEP to plant 100 trees in New London. We're like, we like trees. And I recall some hot summers where we're having trees and shade, which is one of the things one of their goals is to have an urban heat sink to alleviate some of that. So we're talking with them, and it looks like we'll have at least 1 tree and some help in consultation with them as well. So the building team will coordinate the work parties, but also plan how to equip some of our stuff. The building team is open, our meetings are open, and we'd love to have new members if some of this, now that we're actually moving and doing exciting things, just contact one of us. But benches, tables, canopies, playscape, etc. So the areas we're working on are right here outside of our community room, so those doors that go outdoors will be going somewhere lovely pretty soon, and also the entrance the entrance. And it includes sidewalks. Somebody told me today, I hate tripping, you know, and sidewalks are a safety concern, and plus they'll be dry and you don't have to walk through puddles or over roots. There, next. When? This summer. Hopefully, they will be done by December, but they will probably do it in June, July. And will there be access? People have asked. Yes, they will. They're going to put their construction equipment in the part 3 that they're not developing right now, and which is outside here, but it'll be temporary. And they will fence it off so there's access. So parts of the parking lot, we've said services continue. We need access, in the staff, and you will be able to come in. I think we'll be coming in that door. So I think they'll make a sidewalk. They'll fence it off with sidewalks, probably right next to the building, so that we can get in. And the staff can get in.
To the main doors.
Which door?
Which door?
It will be, you will know. You will know. It has been discussed. I do not have a plan for it, but you will have access. Next. Adam. Thank you for your contributions that make this possible. If you still want to contribute more, the money is from the capital campaign that we started years ago, but that's where the money goes in, and that's where we're taking it out of. I want to express my and everyone's appreciation to Kent & Frost Landscape Architects. They've been absolute pleasure to work with. Ted Alinshu, who was our owner's rep for as a volunteer basis. We offered to pay him a stipend. And then he'd like, yeah, what's time? You know, I'll just give you a bunch of time. But Ted, who works with the Homeless Hospitality Center, you may know him from there, and the All Souls Building team, who has just, you know, persevered and persevered here. And so talk to any of us, talk to Carol about London Trees, talk with any of us. There's a list in the annual report so you know who we are, and thank you. I'd very quickly be happy to address questions if anybody has a question. All set.
That is the end of our planned agenda. Is there any other new business items before the congregation?
Just a reminder, put these cards in the baskets in the back. And don't forget to reserve seats for music gals.
Yeah, so we don't have to generate these, put them back on the table where you got them up front. Recycle, yes. And while Friday night is open to everyone, we need to know how many are going to be there. So please let the office know this week whether or not you'll be attending on the Friday night musicale. Yeah, Sally?
Thanks. I just want to say again, so for the musicale, I did like a quick run through with Carolyn Carter, who with Paul is doing the musicale. It is going to be phenomenal. It really is. It is not just like a musical review. It is not just any old thing. It is going to be, I mean, she just like walked me. Oh shoot. Oh wait, where is she? Oh dang, plug your ears. Oh nuts, it's gonna be so good. Okay, forget it. Anyway, she's gonna be there. It's gonna be so good. Everybody come. It is gonna be so good, so just come on Friday night. I have never been to Friday Night Folk. I can't believe I've never been to Friday Night Folk. I'm coming to this thing, everybody come. It's gonna be so good. Okay, all right. I didn't give anything away. All right.
No, you didn't.
And tell the front office.
In that there is, yeah, Liz.
Just real quick, for those of us who are unfortunately unable to be there on Friday night, is it good to
Yes.
Yes!
It'll be online.
It'll be online and recorded. Nice.
I'm sorry, live stream is different than recorded, is it?
No, if we live stream it, it'll be recorded on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, Adam?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we're good. All right. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion, make the motion.
Maria.
The meeting.
Second. Rosemary. All right. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Thank you all for coming.